everyone, it's Alyssa and welcome to You Can Learn Math. Today's lesson is about geometry definitions, like basic definitions for geometry. So this is when you're just starting geometry and you've got a lot of words getting thrown at you. These are the definitions you're going to see. All right, so before we start, it's always good to with this, let's make that line a little darker. There we go. I'm going to start, you're going to see this a lot, is the XY plane. Okay, you're going to see this a lot. Have little arrows on the end. It's the XY plane. What is a plane? There's our first definition, plane. Plane, think of it as a sheet of paper that goes forever. That's what these little arrows indicate here on the corners. It's going forever in every direction. Is this a real physical place? No, it's not. It's in our minds. Just like when we're doing math, when we're saying, 55,622 times 3,710. Do I really have 55,622 items sitting in front of me that I'm going to multiply 3,710 times? No, I don't. We're just imagining these numbers and doing math with them. Kind of like this with the plane. It goes forever in every direction. It never stops. It's called the XY plane because this line right here is labeled X, and this line up here is labeled Y. Specifically the x-axis and the y-axis. And if I put little marks here, you can see these little grid marks. When we're moving up and down and left and right, if we're moving to the right on the x-axis, it's becoming positive. If we move to the left, it's negative. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. -1, -2, -3, and so on. For y, up is positive, down is negative. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down -1, -2, and just goes on forever. Which brings us to our next definition, a point. Sorry, like a phone went off in the other room. Don't know how loud that was. A point. A point is just a dot, a single dot. It has no dimension. It's not a sphere. It's not a circle. It's just a dot, a little dot. A dot is just a point is just a single dot on the XY plane. Or anywhere really, but we're talking about on the XY plane. So this point has coordinates. The coordinates are always given inside parentheses. The x coordinate comes first and then the y. Just like x comes before y in the alphabet, x comes first here. So what's our x coordinate? Well, let's see what line it's on. 4. Now let's see what line it's on this way for the y coordinate. 3. This point's coordinates are 4, 3, and we would write that parentheses, 4, 3, close parentheses. And that's how we write a point. Okay, so again, just a single dot on the plane. Next we have a line. Now a line also has no dimension, just like a point. This is a one-dimensional thing. Now we think of all these things, nothing in our world has just one dimension, but in geometry we have to imagine this has just one dimension. So it's a straight, one-dimensional shape, and it goes forever in both directions. So that's a line. It just goes on and on forever. That's why we draw those arrows at the end. Always, always draw your arrows at the end if you're drawing a line. That's what means it's a line in geometry terms. I know in everyday life, that's a line, even that can be a line. In geometry, it's very specific. It's straight and it goes forever. Okay, if there is an endpoint, like say here, so it has one endpoint and then it goes forever in one direction, this is called a ray. A ray. You can see sometimes they will say, oh, it's part of a line. Well, it technically is, but if you're seeing it drawn like this, this is what it is. It has one endpoint and it goes on then forever. It's half infinite. It's infinite one way. Right? Next one would be if I got rid of that infinite and now I have two endpoints. This is called a line segment. Line segment. So what we call a line in our real world, in everyday life, in math, in geometry, you call it a line segment. Okay, if I go back to having a ray, what if I have two rays? Come on. What if I have two rays and they meet at the same endpoint? They have the same endpoint. Two of our definitions or terms come here. This now with the two rays with the same endpoint is called an angle. This is an angle. And the endpoint where they meet is called a vertex. Vertex. Going back to having a line again, if I have two lines that cross each other, say like that, that is called those are called intersecting lines. Two lines that cross each other. And this doesn't have to be any specific little angle for it to be intersecting lines. It could be, say, something like this. Be very close to each other. They're intersecting. And almost all lines on a plane will intersect each other eventually. Almost all. There's one exception where they will never intersect each other. Let's see if I get this just right. Okay, it's awfully close. Okay, I think I got it. All right, there we go. This is when they look like this. These are called parallel lines. They go forever. They will never, ever cross. They will not intersect each other. Some books will define this as you can translate them over each other. Translations, that's a topic for another video. Again, I will put a link below when I get that done, when I get the translation video done. Haven't done it yet. So you might see that definition. For this purpose, what that means is you could pick this up and you can move it and it'll go right over top it. Like the blue, you could slide it over and it would hide the red and you couldn't see the red. That's what that means. I could translate it over, meaning I could stick it on top of the red and the red would disappear. You wouldn't see it. Other math books would simply define it as I did, is saying there are two lines, they're on the same plane, and they never ever cross. They never intersect. The other one, see, we're at 46 degrees. Let's spin this. Okay. Ah, so close. I went there. Okay. All right. Our other type of intersecting lines or other line interaction is like this. Can you see what's special about these? These are right angles all the way around, made right angles. Right angles are 90 degrees. 90 degrees. If we have two lines that form 90-degree angles, these are called perpendicular. Perpendicular lines. They intersect and form 90-degree angles. Okay, and one last thing about angles, a 90-degree angle is called a right angle. So if I had like this, that is a right angle, 90 degrees. If the angle was less than 90, it is called an acute angle. If it is less than 90 degrees. Remember that because it's smaller, like, oh, what a cute little angle. It's acute. And if the angle is bigger than 90 degrees, that is an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle, greater than 90 degrees. Okay, so there's a basic overview of a bunch of geometry terms that if you get those memorized, I highly recommend memorizing them early as they will be used over and over and over again in geometry. I hope you enjoyed that today. If it was helpful, useful in any way, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.